hello Galactic family. The change is in the air. Yes, all channeled messages are saying this because they need to focus on their awareness of this fact. Do not disregard these seemingly repetitive messages with only a shrug and the thought "and there we go again," to the extent that your selfish memories call to tell you that you have heard all this before and that you really are the same in repetitive old history, the same as always. For I assert that it is not. Huge changes are underway that will change how they live and interact with one another around the world, regardless of race, nationality, ethnicity, religion, or political beliefs. This moment of great change has been going on for a long time, but now it is firmly established on Earth, and in spite of the disturbing news of conflicts and all the consequent problems that follow, there has been a change in the sea and the old and harmful forms of interaction are being rapidly discarded. Everyone wants to live in peace and abundance on their beautiful planet, and everyone wants to see it restored with a good and vibrant health, with all the ugly and damaging industrial scars repaired, cured and brought back to an ecologically sound state. This is and will happen, although, first, the ongoing plundering due to mining, drilling, agriculture on an industrial scale and insensitive and foolish disposal of waste has to cease. There are many groups working on it and it will happen. Your tasks as carriers and light workers are to keep love's intention flowing abundantly into these groups, allowing you to work together harmoniously to achieve your loving goals for the planet and for humanity, using discernment, never judgment, to solve problems where there seems to be disagreement. Disagreements dissolve, when the discussion runs out of all possibilities, in an attitude of willingness to look at all of them, without selfish prejudices, driven by the need for an individual to be right or to be the leader. Every member of a group is an essential part of this, even if it only demonstrates the need for a harmonious acceptance of the different opinions that naturally arise because of the experience of separation that everyone is going through. They are all one, but, as they operate from separate individual bodies, it is very difficult to accept this and work as one. Team sports encourage this, however. Even they have become overly competitive in the last 5 or 6 decades since sport has become a business. Fun-only sports activities are extremely healthy for people's spiritual growth and development, but when they become unduly competitive, driven by selfish needs, seen and highly praised by one individual in particular, better than all others, they are very destructive and cause many divisions. No doubt there are talented individuals, humans with exceptional abilities, though they still need the support of their teammates if they are to achieve their goals. Highly gifted individual humans are only at the forefront of the evolutionary wave that humanity is going through, and its real purpose is to demonstrate what is making it possible for more and more of you not to harm and destroy people's average self-confidence in their own abilities and skills. When self-confidence is seriously injured or destroyed, individuals find themselves unable or unwilling to reach their human potentials, failing to understand and learn the lessons that a human life presents to them, and this is rather tragic for them and totally unnecessary. Everyone has a meaningful life purpose, there are no exceptions. However, most cultures strive to judge and shame those who appear to be abnormal in some way. Love never does that. All of you are love. Be yourself, be loving, do not be afraid to be who you are if others think you are weak or stupid. Being yourself, being love is, as if the world were being restored to your legitimate state to yourself and your guardians honoring your needs as you honor yours. In their literature they have a saying, no one is an island. Finally, mankind is realizing the absolute truth of this very wise saying. Even if they chose to live alone and isolated as a hermit, they would still be totally dependent on the Earth's generosity for their individual survivals. If you really can consider what it means to be one to another and, of course, one to God, you will understand that there is no other way. They are one in mind, one in heart, all eternally interconnected through the source that is all. There is nothing out there to exclude that someone is completely insane. They need to learn to accept the differences that often exist between individuals and to be open to listening and learning the lessons that these differences offer. They do not just come into their lives by chance, by coincidence. In their lives, all things are essential aspects of the path they have chosen to follow, before they incarnate. Be attentive, because when you are, the judgment disappears because you begin to see how senseless it is to try to judge another. By what standards do they judge? Obviously by those resulting from their own very limited beliefs and beliefs. As your consciousness opens up, more and more of you begin to realize how extremely limited your views and opinions are. Often, this awareness is refused because it can be very frightening to understand how narrow and narrow are your perceptions of the meaning of life. You may feel much safer by following the strict and rigid rules established by you or your authority figures or fearful honoring organizations, because then you do not need to use your own intelligences, wisdom or discernment. You can trust others who are, above all, as fearful as you are. So they simply refuse to acknowledge this fear and hide under the judgments they make, or behave violently to prove themselves and others how strong and powerful they are. But of course, this deception reaches you, intensifying the fear you were trying to hide through that attitude and behavior. Love is the only means available to disarm and dissolve your fears, so you do not need anything else. As they have always been told, it is all that is. He is surrounding them, waiting for their acceptances. And when they open their hearts and come to receive Him, in their lives, they will change drastically for the better. They cannot pretend, putting on a loving mask or a facade and hiding behind it. It needs to be who they truly are, beloved children of God living as they really want, loving what comes and giving thanks for being eternally one with the Source and therefore with all of their needs always met the moment they arise. If they do not appear to be, then they are misinterpreting the situation and then responding inappropriately. It is enough that daily, when they enter their sacred inner sanctuaries, they remember that they are the perfect children of God, infinitely loved and cherished for eternity. They are just having a human experience, an experience they chose to pass when they chose to be separated from God, to prove to themselves that they did not need Him. However, as it has been told so many times, the separation from the Source is impossible. Gifted with the enormous creative abilities they used to build the illusion, their dreams, or more appropriately their nightmares of separation, they did not know how terrifying it would be when they built it, when they entered into illusion and lost their memories and knowledge of God, the eternal Source. Instantly, they felt lost, abandoned, alone, a state of dream impossible and unreal, and the terror rose, because it seemed totally real to you. They are always and eternally connected and one with the Source, and even to momentarily imagine being out of this state is terrifying because it indicates the existence of a state that is not eternal, that is bounded by time and has an end. But you were created for eternal life with total joy, and to imagine that you could get out of this state, as you have done, is terrible. Life is eternal, still, within illusion, seems to be only a short moment of existence in a vast universe completely unaware of you. You all know people who are always seeking acceptance, recognition, praise, and love. In fact, This is how all human beings live their limited lives, and thus with the fear of death always hovering in the background. Some even flirt with her by practicing extreme sports or other dangerous activities. Just as the others are seeking confirmation that there is no death. Well, I gladly assure you that death is not the end. They are eternal and immortal beings, infinitely loved by God, and when they are discarded of their human bodies, as all of you will immediately know. And, of course, in this modern era of instant mass communication, reality is infinitely faster. Can now hear about those who have had near-death experiences and who have come back to talk about it and help them to leave their fears of death and remind them that it is not the end. They are all eternally beloved children of God, eternally and inseparably one with Him. There is nothing to fear. So get involved with love, the true nature of all, at all times, and revel in the joy and energy that will then arise within you. Your loving brother, Jesus. And remember, I was there, and I know what I'm talking about.